Welcome. In this video, we'll explore the PMBOK 8th edition, your ultimate guide to modern project management.
So, what really makes a project a success? Is it just about finishing on time, hitting the budget? Or is there something, deeper going on? Today, we're going to demystify project management and figure out what separates a project that just gets done from one that delivers real, lasting value. Let's dive in. To really get this, let's look at a tale of two projects. First up, the Sydney Opera House. The original plan? A $7 million budget and 4 years of work. The reality? It cost $102 million and took 14 years. I mean, by every traditional metric, that is a total disaster, right? But then you have this brand new overpass built in Montreal. It was managed perfectly, finished right on time, right on budget for about 11 million Canadian dollars. A huge success, except just 1 year later, they had to tear it down because it didn't fit with the city's future plans. It delivered absolutely zero value. And this, right here, is the perfect example of the big idea we're exploring today. The game has changed. Success isn't just about ticking off the boxes for time, scope, and budget anymore. The real, ultimate measure of a project is the value it creates. For your customers, for the business, and, sometimes for the whole world. Okay, but no project exists in a vacuum. To create that value, you've got to understand the world your project actually lives in. It's constantly being pushed and pulled by these powerful forces, both from the outside and from right inside your own company. First, you've got what are called enterprise environmental factors, or EEFs. Just think of these as the world outside. This is all the stuff you can't control, but you absolutely have to deal with. Think about this for a second. When the pandemic hit and remote work suddenly became the norm, countless projects had to completely rip up their plans overnight. That's a massive EEF in action. And then you've got the internal stuff, your organizational process assets. Basically, your company's own playbook. This is the toolkit your organization gives you to work with. It's everything from the scheduling software you use to the hard-won expertise of the people down the hall. For example, if your company has this amazing, well-documented process for launching new products, that's a huge OPA that gives your project a massive head start. Okay, so you get the environment. Now what? How do you actually get the thing done? Well, there's no single right answer. The real key is picking the right approach, the right playbook for the specific job at hand. And these approaches really boil down to two different ways of thinking. On one hand, you've got predictive approaches. Think of this like building a house. You need a super detailed, fixed blueprint before you even think about digging the foundation. The scope is locked in early, and any changes are a really big deal. On the other hand, you have adaptive approaches, which you probably know as Agile. This is way more like developing a new app. You have a vision, sure, but the final product is going to change and evolve based on constant feedback from the people actually using it. So let's look at that predictive path. It's all very logical, very step-by-step. You define everything you can, you plan it all out meticulously, and then you execute that plan in sequence. A really critical piece of this is something called a phase gate. This is a formal checkpoint at the end of each stage where everybody stops and makes a conscious go or no-go decision. It's all about making sure you're on the right track before you spend more time and money on the next phase. The adaptive approach, though, is totally different. It's a continuous cycle. You build a small piece of something, you show it to people and get their feedback, you adapt your plan based on what you just learned, and then you do it all over again. The work gets pulled from this living, breathing to-do list called a product backlog, which lets the team constantly shift priorities to whatever's most important right now, delivering value bit by bit. But here's the real secret sauce. You can have the most perfect process in the world, predictive or adaptive, and your project can still crash and burn. Why? Because projects aren't really about Gantt charts and processes. At the end of the day, they're about people, and leading those people, well, that's the secret ingredient. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The research is clear. There's a direct line between leadership and success. The best projects don't just have one great project manager. They have leadership behaviors popping up from all over the team. It's about people stepping up, taking ownership, and helping steer the ship. And that kind of leadership really only blossoms in an empowered culture. So how do you build that? Well, it all starts with making people feel safe to share their ideas, even the weird ones. It means setting clear ground rules, like a team agreement for how you're all going to work together, and, just as important, how you'll disagree. And of course, leaders have to walk the talk, be transparent, act with integrity, and always, always push for open and respectful communication. The personal toolkit for any leader in this environment is emotional intelligence. It really breaks down into 4 main pillars. First up is self-awareness, knowing your own emotions and how they affect you. Then you've got self-management, being able to control those knee-jerk reactions and stay focused, especially when things get stressful. Next is social awareness, being able to tune in, empathize, and really understand what others are feeling. And finally, social skills, using all that knowledge to build great relationships and get everyone excited and moving in the same direction. All right, let's tie all of this together and bring it back to where we started. We've talked about the environment, the right process, the right leadership. So how does all of this connect back to that ultimate goal, delivering real value? Well, it boils down to this really simple but incredibly powerful formula. When you take a flexible approach that's right for the job, and you combine it with a team of empowered people who are led well, that's when you get real value. You can't have one without the other. You need both the right process and the right culture. So, what do we actually mean when we say value? It's bigger than you might think. It could be a new product that just nails a customer's need. It might be a project that has a positive impact on society or the environment. It absolutely has to be aligned with the big picture business goals. And more, value is about finding that sweet spot, a sustainable balance between profit, people, and the planet. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one question to think about. Look at the work you're doing, the projects you're on. Are you just checking boxes and going through the motions? Or are you, your team, and your leaders laser focused on the one thing that truly matters, delivering real, meaningful value?
If you like this video, then like, subscribe, and share with your near and dear people P10. Let's grow smarter together.